George Yabu and Glenn Pushelberg oversee one of the most internationally recognized design firms. From North America to Asia and the Middle East, they design luxury hotels, restaurants, retail, and residences all over the world. From the glamorous St. Regis and Four Seasons hotels and retailers such as Barney's and Bergdorf's and Louis Vuitton, their creative talent has made them pioneers in the design world. Yabu and Pushelberg have received numerous honors for their contributions to design excellence. From Designers of the Year and People You Must Meet to Hot Interior Design Firm, the list goes on and on. They also won the James Beard Foundation Award for Excellence in Restaurant Design, and they are longtime inductees into the Interior Design Magazine Hall of Fame. We are here today at the Design Exchange in Toronto to talk about yet another honor they will soon receive. DX Intersection is the annual fundraising event for the Design Exchange, and every year they feature pioneers in creativity and innovation. How do you feel about being this year's honorees?
I think it's great to be honored in your hometown where we came from. I think that's an incredible honor.
And the theme for this year's event is Kismet. How does that philosophy reign in your work?
Some things you just can't plan, and it just sort of happens, and that's how
we started, actually.
Happened.
Right.
So we had our own own business for a year and a half out of school, 2 years out of school, that ran into me.
Oh.
Outside summer camp.
Yeah. So we started sharing space,
and I said I couldn't
and
find
then we started working on each other's
Wow.
projects, and so we said, no, this is crazy, let's just start a little company. So we started very, very simply a long, long time ago.
Oh, amazing.
Our pencil lines would meet in the middle of the page. It looked like one person.
Wow. So there was no business plan or big.
Absolutely
wow.
not.
What was the first project you worked on together?
We did. We designed dry cleaning depots and coffee shops and all of that.
Shops.
Whatever we could get our hands on. We didn't start it as a business. We started it as a passion for design.
Okay.
I think that is why we propelled ourselves forward in a much more dynamic way than most. I think when you start from a business plan as designers, you kind of tamper down your. I don't know what
your drive.
That's very cool. Yeah. And why are organizations like the Design Exchange important, do you think?
I think Canada doesn't really have a strong, long history of design, and I think that the Design Exchange is a kind of vehicle to tell Canadian businesses and tell the world that we exist and that we do have a story to tell, and I think it's really important.
Canada in general doesn't support the creative community at all, the arts, and it's really a shame because it can be an engine driver also in terms of raising the quality of living and experiencing and enlightenment. It's the obvious things that really come back tenfold.
Right.
Canada has a really great education system. It's got great talent, and it just needs a vehicle to go.
Why do you think Canada doesn't embrace design as much as other places? Or what do you think it is about the DNA of a place that embraces creativity and design?
And because it's a young country, there's a lot of opportunity. There's like in America and the United States, there's huge population, huge amount of money.
It's 10 times the size.
Yeah, 10 times the size. And it has a history, another 100 years.
It's interesting that you say that because of our big and wonderful neighbor next door to the south. They sort of latch on. And they just go along with it because of the inertia that happens down when something gets done in the States. So they just go along with it. And sometimes, sadly, people don't strive. Because they don't have to. So the comfort level's all there. Everything that works. Toronto is a wonderful city, but one of the most livable cities in the world. So things are a bit sometimes too cushy.
Too easy.
Irritation to push yourself.
Exactly.
To do something.
That's true. It's interesting. You look at places like Detroit, who are kind of down and out, and it's become a hotbed of artists again, and they kind of sometimes you need that free zone to make it happen.
And what drove your passion and creativity? What still drives you?
Curiosity. I think it's curiosity, wanting to learn more, wanting to understand more. The more we travel, the more we see things, the more we want to do. I mean, we're presented with incredible opportunities.
What does good design mean to you?
Design is here to move the agenda forward, to show people new things and new ways of doing things and new ways of being. And I think that for us, design is aspirational, and good clients look for that. They want something that's original, but they feel comfortable with and fits within their skin. And I think that's the challenge that we have to solve.
A lot of your work is about experience and experiences, and how do you want
That's
guests?
what people want.
How do you want guests to feel when they walk into one of your spaces?
To be truly transformed, or stop and sense all the senses start firing. I think that's wonderful.
I think emotional resonance is really key to good interiors. And I think you think about what kind of experience is important for the interior. You know, we're designing a hotel for Equinox, the gym company, and they talk about high performance individuals that want a full life, but they're modernists, and you know, you start to think about what does that mean and how do you translate that into interiors. So those are the interesting challenges, but it goes back to this emotional notion rather than one kind of big idea. I think it's much more important.
And when it seems that everything has been done before, how do you keep your ideas fresh and innovative?
It depends, I guess, on who's asking for it and what the solution is to solve. So in every problem to solve is the creative solution.
And it seems that design and creativity are everywhere, especially now in the private sector. But what industry or what do you think is in the most need of a redesign?
Oh my goodness. Oh, there's so much. Airports?
Airports, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And the big one is inevitable. It's in the air right now. It's healthcare.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
aging
it's the next
population.
frontier.
Yes.
And, we've got to do something about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about good interiors evoking emotions, and you can evoke happiness
Yes.
and things that are uplifting.
Right.
And there's no reason not to.
How do you
Let's
feel
say we
about
got
that word luxury?
Well,
overused
it's
a lot.
overused. It's a horrible word.
Yeah.
It's a horrible
Yeah.
word. It should be about quality of experience.
Yeah.
Just going back to this last point, we started thinking about this project. We're gonna kind of in the final throes of our discussions, and we keep our fingers crossed. But we started thinking back 30 years ago when we were in Portofino and we stayed at the Hotel Splendido, which is a lovely old building. But the room is very simple and hard, and the bed is very hard, but the sheets are linen. We remember the sheets being linen and the air being cool in the morning and the high ceiling space. And there's something about that that is truly luxurious in its...
The room itself is so simple.
Yes, it is. And its simplicity.
Right.
And I think that kind of washing away is healthy, and I think the old notion of luxury is an old notion of luxury.
Right. Last question. I asked Frank Gehry this a long time ago, who was his favorite up-and-coming architect, and he cited Zaha Hadid.
Really?
So who is your favorite up-and-coming designer?
I don't have an up-and-comer, but I always loved Dao Ando because he wasn't a trained architect.
There's great people like
that
what about
admire.
Christophe Delcourt is also a wonderful designer, furniture designer, and interiors, and a lovely person.
Well, thank you so much. I know you have a flight to London to
Thank you,
catch, and this showroom is amazing.
Thank you.